the last section that is left is the fan favorites part. And on the final app, you can see that on the fan favorite section, you have, after the title, you have a horizontal line. So I'll just add that line. For that, I'll type HR. Now I have the horizontal line. And after the horizontal line, we do have some other cards, but the cards have a slightly different format. In here, you can see that you have the image at the top and all the rest of the info is down below. Let us go to Bootstrap and search for a card that has similar design. Now in here, if you search for the card and you see that you cannot find the exact card that you are searching for, you can always create your own custom card. The cards have 3 sections. They can have an image at the top, then they have the card body and also the card footer. So in this case, I'll just go back to the code and create a card. So in here, after the HR tag, let's say for each row, we want to have 4 cards. Now, since we have said that the whole screen has 12 columns and we want to have 4 cards, it means that each card is going to take 3 columns. For that, I'll just create a div in here. I'm going to set this div to have the class column MD and then 3. So then 3 times 4 cards, we're going to have 12 columns in total. And then inside this div, we're going to create the card. To create a card, what you need to do is that you need to set the class card. Then inside the card, we said that we can have an image. Let's have an image in here, img. Let us set the source of the image to be one of the images that we have in the assets folder. So we're going to use the card image. And then this image is going to also have a class. Set the class to be the card image. Then after the image, we have said that a card has a body. So for the body, we are going to create a separate div. Class is going to be card body. And then after the body, we are going to also have a div, which is for the card footer. Now, if we check our design, we are going to see that in here we have the title, basically, the authors, and here we have 3 different texts. We have the year that the movie was released, we have the IMDb rate, and the one in here is the rank of this movie. So in our card, we're going to also create these 3 sections and search for the icons in the Bootstrap icons. So let us start with the body. In the body, we're going to have an h5 tag, and then in the h5, we are going to have a class card title. The title is going to be, let's say, movie title. Then we're going to have a p tag, and the p tag is going to have the card text class, and the text is going to be the movie actors. Then on the footer section, we are going to have 3 different spans. So the first span will be used for the release year. So let's say 2023. The second span is going to be for the IMDb rating. So let's say 9.5 out of 10. And the third one is going to be the rank. And let's say the rank is 1. Now you could see that each span was positioned in different places. For example, the year 2023 was on the left. So for that, here on the span, I'll just type style and then float. I want it to go to the left. The rank, I want it to float and go to the right. For this data to be able to float, it needs to be centered by using the text center. And then let's change the color to a muted text, so text muted. You could see that for each value, you also had some icons. So for example, for the year we had the calendar value. For that, I'll just type I. So I'll create an I tag. And then the class is going to be BI and then BI calendar. For the rating, we had the BI star. Let's change the bit in here to BI. And then for the rank, we're going to have the trophy. Now let us just save the changes. And I'll actually create another card just so I can see how it will look like in the app. Now let's go back to the app. Let's navigate here and you can see that the app looks right. I'll just go and add one more fan favorite, and you can also see that in here we do have some space in between, and you can also see that the fan favorites in here is in a different color, it's not in black. So let's also update that one. So in here, I'll just add one more. Now you can see that I'm copying and pasting a lot of code, but when we go to the loops and the cycles, you'll see that we'll be able to use just one placeholder and simply iterate through that placeholder and set different values. So in this case, for example, in here, it means that I can remove all of these three and just keep the first one and simply iterate through this one and set all the values. So we added 4 in here. Now you can see in here that this is just an h1 tag, and if you want to have all the h1 tags have a different color other than the default one, you can either set the color just for this h1 tag here on the home.component.css. So whatever you type in here basically gets applied only in the home component.html file. But if you want the style to be applied globally, basically for all the h1 tags throughout the whole app, you need to just go to the styles.css. I'll just remove the comment from here. And then in here, for example, that has just said that the h1 tag needs to be in this color. I'll just save the changes, go back to the browser, and you can see now in here that we have the fan favorite section. Here on the bottom we have 4 cards. Here on the right we have the slider, which you can navigate. And here on the right you also have 2 cards. Now we just set this one in here to have 2 cards, which is slightly different compared to the final app, but we did that just so we could have a cleaner view. So instead of having this picture take the whole place, we're just going to have 2 cards and see or be able to see that we also have the fan favorite section down below. As you can see in here, it's clear that after this section you also have the fan favorites.